First contact under fire. The command bridge of the Earth Alliance vessel Thunderchild hummed with quiet efficiency as Captain Maya Chen studied the holographic star chart hovering before her. The ship had been patrolling the outer reaches of human-controlled space for 3 standard months without incident. Maya found herself almost wishing for some excitement to break the monotony. "Be careful what you wish for," she muttered to herself. Lieutenant Ramirez's voice cut through her thoughts. "Captain, we're picking up a transmission. It's not on any recognized frequency." Maya straightened, suddenly alert. "Source: unknown, sir. It's coming from beyond the Arcturus sector." Ramirez frowned at his console. "It appears to be some kind of distress call, but the language isn't in our translation database." "Put it through." The bridge speakers crackled with a high-pitched, warbling sound that made several crew members wince. Interspersed with the alien speech were unmistakable sounds of weapons fire and explosions. "Whatever they're saying, they're in trouble," Maya said. "Helm, plot a course to the signal's origin. Tactical, raise shields and bring weapons to standby. Communications, keep trying to decode that message." The Thunderchild's engines flared to life, propelling the vessel toward the unknown signal. Maya felt the familiar flutter of anticipation in her stomach. Humanity had been exploring space for nearly a century, yet encounters with other intelligent species remained rare. Most were primitive or pre-spaceflight civilizations observed from a distance. This could be different. 18 hours later, the Thunderchild dropped out of FTL on the edge of an unfamiliar star system. What they found stunned the entire bridge crew into momentary silence. A massive space battle raged around the system's third planet. Hundreds of ships, none of human design, exchanged fire with what appeared to be a swarm of angular obsidian objects. Several of the alien vessels were already drifting, disabled or destroyed. "Life signs?" Maya asked, recovering her composure. Science Officer Quan examined her readings. "Multiple species detected on the damaged ships, Captain. Nothing we've encountered before. The black objects appear to be partially organic, partially mechanical." "We're being scanned," Ramirez reported. "One of the non-black ships is approaching. They're broadcasting on multiple frequencies. Open channels. Let's see if they're friendlier than whatever those black things are." The main view screen flickered to life, revealing a slender, blue-skinned alien with 4 arms and large compound eyes. The alien spoke, its words incomprehensible, until the ship's AI began matching linguistic patterns and providing rough translations. "Unknown vessel. You have entered Confederation space during a Class 1 emergency. Identify yourselves immediately." Maya stood tall. "This is Captain Maya Chen of the Earth Alliance vessel Thunderchild. We received your distress call and came to offer assistance." The alien's compound eyes blinked rapidly. "Earth? The Death World? You are human?" Maya exchanged puzzled glances with her executive officer. "Yes, we are human. What do you mean by Death World?" The alien seemed to hesitate before responding. "I am Ambassador Zurax of the Galactic Confederation. Your timely arrival is unexpected but potentially fortunate. We request immediate dialogue. Can you accommodate a delegation aboard your vessel?" "We can," Maya confirmed. "But I'd appreciate some explanation about this battle we've stumbled into." "All will be explained, Captain Chen. Be advised that we will require specific atmospheric conditions for our safety." After the transmission ended, Commander Walker leaned toward Maya. "Death World. That doesn't sound like a compliment." "No," Maya agreed. "But I'm more concerned about those black ships. Prepare a secure conference room with adjustable environmental controls, and maintain battle readiness. We don't know which side we should be on yet." 2 hours later, Maya found herself facing 3 representatives of the Galactic Confederation. Ambassador Zurax was joined by Admiral Krell, a reptilian being with metallic scales, and Science Director Ilara, whose translucent body pulsed with bioluminescent light. All 3 remained behind an atmospheric barrier that separated their side of the conference room from the humans. Forgive our precautions, Zirax began, but your natural environment would be lethal to us within minutes. Lethal? Maya raised an eyebrow. Our ship maintains Earth standard conditions. Oxygen atmosphere, 1G gravity, average temperature of 22 degrees Celsius. Precisely, Ilara interjected, her body flashing with blue patterns. What you call standard would crush most Confederation species under its gravity, burn them with oxygen toxicity, or freeze them in what you consider mild temperatures. You evolved on a planet that would kill 96% of spacefaring species, Admiral Krell added, his voice a low rumble. Hence, Deathworld. Maya absorbed this information with growing fascination. Humans had always assumed they'd evolved in relatively mild conditions compared to what might exist elsewhere in the galaxy. To learn they were considered extreme survival specialists was surprising. I believe we have more pressing concerns than comparative xenobiology. Maya redirected. What are those black ships, and why are they attacking you? The three aliens exchanged looks before Zirax responded. They are the Void Harvesters, a silicon-carbon hybrid collective that consumes planets for resources. They appeared in Confederation space 3 cycles ago and have already destroyed 7 worlds. Conventional weapons damage them, but they adapt quickly. Each engagement becomes progressively less effective as they analyze our tactics. They think in perfect mathematical patterns, Ilara added. Our battle computers cannot outmaneuver them because they calculate all possible responses and counter them before we execute. Maya considered this, so they're predictable in their unpredictability. The aliens seemed confused by her statement. If they always choose the mathematically optimal solution, they become predictable to anyone willing to think outside conventional patterns, she explained. Interesting theory, Admiral Krell said skeptically. But the Confederation has employed the finest tactical minds across 27 species. None have found an effective counter-strategy. Maya leaned forward, with respect. Admiral, perhaps you need a species that didn't evolve with perfect logic as a survival trait. On Earth, predators that were too predictable starved. Prey that followed consistent patterns got eaten. Humans survived by being adaptable, sometimes making choices that seem illogical but worked because they were unexpected. The conference continued for another hour as Maya learned more about the Harvesters and the Confederation's failed attempts to stop them. When it concluded, she returned to the bridge with a decision already forming. Commander Walker, assemble the department heads. We're going to offer our assistance to the Confederation. Are you sure that's wise, Captain? We're one ship, and Earth Command hasn't authorized any military engagement with alien forces. Maya's expression was resolute. Earth Command also instructed us to establish peaceful contact with advanced civilizations. Hard to do that if they're all being consumed by these harvester things. Besides, this is the perfect opportunity to show what humans can do. The senior staff gathered in the tactical room as Maya outlined what she'd learned. Engineer Santos was the first to speak up after her briefing. So these harvesters adapt to conventional tactics. What if we don't use conventional tactics? Lieutenant Park from Security nodded enthusiastically. Guerrilla warfare in space. Hit-and-run attacks from unexpected vectors. Exactly, Maya agreed. And I have something else in mind. Dr. Okafor, what's the status of Project Chaos? The ship's science officer looked surprised. The randomized weapon modulation system. It's still experimental. We haven't had authorization to field test it yet. Consider this your authorization. I want it installed on our main weapons array immediately. As the meeting continued, the humans began formulating a strategy that would have seemed insane to any Confederation tactical officer. When Maya presented it to Ambassador Zirax and Admiral Krell, their reactions confirmed this assessment. You want to deliberately expose your weapon systems. Krell's scales had paled to a lighter shade. And manually control firing solutions instead of using targeting computers. Among other things, Maya confirmed, the harvesters expect optimization. We'll give them the opposite. It's suicide, Zirax stated flatly. Maya smiled. For you, perhaps, but humans have a long history of turning suicide missions into victories. We're built for environments you consider lethal, remember. That gives us options you don't have. After much debate, the desperate Confederation leaders agreed to let the Thunderchild attempt its unorthodox strategy. As preparations began, Maya recorded a message to Earth Command, explaining her decision and the potential first contact significance. If we succeed, she told her officers as they finalized their battle plan, we'll have made humanity's entry onto the galactic stage in spectacular fashion. If we fail, she shrugged, well, Earth will still be safely unknown to these harvesters. Commander Walker raised an eyebrow. Inspiring speech, Captain. Maya grinned. Humans don't need inspiration, Commander. We need a challenge that everyone else thinks is impossible. That's when we do our best work. As the Thunderchild moved into position, the crew felt a mixture of tension and excitement. They were about to introduce the galaxy to humanity's unique approach to problem-solving, one that had been forged in the crucible of Earth's punishing evolutionary history. The hunt was about to begin. Chaos strategy. The Thunderchild accelerated toward the main harvester formation, its trajectory so erratic that Admiral Krell's tactical officers couldn't predict its path. Maya stood calmly on the bridge as her crew executed the maneuvers they'd practiced countless times in simulations, but never in actual combat. Harvesters are adjusting formation. Lieutenant Ramirez reported. They appear confused by our approach. Good, Maya replied. Weapons status. Engineer Santos's voice came through the comm. Project Chaos is online, Captain. Each weapon firing will use randomized frequencies and power levels. They won't be able to predict penetration patterns. Tactical, target the largest concentration and fire at will. Manual targeting only. The Thunderchild's weapons blazed to life, lancing out at the harvester swarm with beams that constantly shifted in intensity and frequency. Where Confederation weapons fired in mathematically precise patterns, the human ship's attack seemed almost chaotic, with gunners relying on instinct and timing rather than computer assistance. The effect was immediate and dramatic. Several harvester vessels shattered under the assault, unable to adapt their defenses to the unpredictable attack pattern. We've confirmed kills, Ramirez announced, excitement evident in his voice. Confederation ships are requesting our tactical data. Send them nothing, Maya ordered. If they try to analyze and replicate our methods, the harvesters will adapt. Tell each Confederation ship to develop their own random patterns. No two ships should use the same approach. The harvesters, confronted with an attack pattern their collective intelligence couldn't predict, began to fragment their formation. Some units retreated while others advanced in what appeared to be confusion. On the main Confederation vessel, Admiral Krell watched in astonishment as the single human ship wreaked havoc among the previously unstoppable enemy. Impossible, he muttered. Their attack pattern defies all tactical logic. That, Ambassador Zirax replied, appears to be precisely the point. After the initial assault, the Thunderchild executed a maneuver that seemed to make no tactical sense. It cut power to engines and weapons simultaneously, appearing to drift dead in space. The harvesters, computing the most logical response to this apparent vulnerability, moved to surround and consume the vessel. They're taking the bait, Maya noted with satisfaction. Wait for it. Wait. The harvesters closed in from all sides. Now, full power to quantum field generator. The experimental device that Engineer Santos had insisted on installing despite Confederation warnings about its instability surged to life. A rippling field of energy expanded outward from the Thunderchild in all directions, temporarily disrupting the quantum-level communications between harvester units. The collective intelligence that made them so formidable fragmented momentarily. All weapons, fire, maximum dispersal. The Thunderchild unleashed its full arsenal in a sphere of destruction that caught dozens of harvester units in momentary disarray. The results exceeded even Maya's expectations. The separated units, unable to coordinate their adaptive defenses, were destroyed in spectacular fashion. Confederation ships are engaging the isolated groups, Commander Walker reported. They're actually making headway. Good. Let's press the advantage while they're disorganized. Helm, set course for that larger concentration. We need to keep them off balance. For the next several hours, the battle raged across the star system. The Thunderchild darted between harvester formations, never using the same approach twice, creating openings for the more conventional Confederation fleet to exploit. Human tactics that seemed reckless or wasteful from a purely logical perspective proved devastatingly effective against an enemy that couldn't compute illogical behavior. In the midst of the battle, Science Officer Quan made a critical discovery. Captain, I've been analyzing the harvester communication patterns. There appears to be a central node coordinating the entire swarm, that larger vessel near the gas giant's moon. Maya studied the tactical display. That's our target then. But we'll need to get close, and they'll have their heaviest defenses there. The Confederation ships could provide a diversion, Walker suggested. No, Maya shook her head. They're too predictable. The harvesters would see through it. She thought for a moment. What if we play dead again, but differently? Dr. Okafor, can we mask our power signature to appear severely damaged? Yes, but we have to actually power down most systems. We'd be vulnerable. That's exactly what we want them to think. As Maya outlined her plan, even her experienced crew looked nervous. It would require precise timing and more than a little luck. But it played to humanity's strengths: creative thinking, risk-taking, and the ability to function under conditions most species would find intolerable. The Thunderchild vented atmosphere from non-essential sections, creating a convincing debris field around itself as it drifted toward the Harvester command node. Life support was reduced to minimal levels throughout most of the ship, with the crew donning cold weather gear to cope with the plummeting temperatures. This is insane, Ambassador Zirax commented from the sealed conference room, where the Confederation representatives had taken refuge. Your people are deliberately exposing themselves to near-vacuum conditions and temperatures that would kill any civilized species. We're full of surprises, Maya replied through chattering teeth as she supervised the operation from the frigid bridge. Humans can actually survive brief exposure to vacuum. Not comfortably, but we can manage for a few minutes. The harvesters, detecting what appeared to be a critically damaged vessel, assigned minimal resources to investigate, exactly as Maya had hoped. When the Thunderchild drifted to within striking distance of the command node, the trap was sprung. All power restored. Shields up, weapons online, Maya ordered. The Thunderchild roared back to life, catching the harvesters completely unprepared. Project Chaos delivered a devastating blow directly to the command node before its defenses could activate. The specialized spike program that Dr. Okafor had developed was transmitted directly into the Harvester network, introducing random errors and contradictory commands throughout their collective intelligence. For several tense minutes, the Thunderchild endured heavy counterattacks as the Harvesters struggled to purge the infection from their system. Just when it seemed the human ship couldn't withstand anymore, the command node's coordinated defenses began to falter. Confederation ships are reporting harvester units going dormant across the system, Ramirez announced. The collective is fragmenting. Maya allowed herself a small smile. Signal Admiral Krell. Tell him now is the time for a coordinated attack on all remaining active units. The battle that followed was brief and decisive. Without their central coordination, the individual harvester units fell quickly to the combined might of the Confederation fleet and the battered but triumphant Thunderchild. In the aftermath, as repair crews worked to restore the Earth vessel to full functionality, Maya found herself invited aboard the Confederation flagship for a formal meeting with the High Council's emergency session. The meeting chamber was divided by environmental barriers, with Maya and Commander Walker seated in a section adjusted to approximate Earth conditions. Around them, representatives of the 27 Confederation species regarded the humans with a mixture of gratitude, fascination, and poorly concealed unease. High Counselor Vex, a gaseous entity contained within an articulated mechanical frame, addressed them first. Captain Chen, the Confederation owes you and your crew a debt that cannot be easily repaid. Your unorthodox tactics have saved countless lives and worlds. We were happy to help, Counselor, Maya replied diplomatically. Earth has always hoped to establish peaceful relations with other spacefaring civilizations. Yes, about Earth. Admiral Krell stepped forward. Your world has been classified in our records as a prohibited zone due to its extreme conditions. We had no idea it had produced a species capable of spaceflight, let alone one so formidable. Maya recognized the undercurrent of concern in the Admiral's tone. Formidable, perhaps, but not hostile. Humans value cooperation and peaceful exchange. Yet you excel at warfare, another counselor observed. Your natural environment has crafted you into perfect warriors, able to endure conditions that would kill most of us, thinking in ways our logic cannot predict. Maya chose her next words carefully, aware that humanity's future relationship with the galactic community might hinge on this conversation. We excel at survival, Counselor. Sometimes that means fighting, yes, but more often, it means innovation, adaptation, and finding solutions where none seem possible. Today we use those abilities against a common enemy. Tomorrow, we could use them to solve other challenges facing the Confederation. Ambassador Zirax, who had worked most closely with the humans, spoke up. I have observed Captain Chen and her crew firsthand. Their methods are unconventional, even disturbing by our standards, but their intentions appear honorable. I would suggest that rather than fear these Deathworlders, we should welcome their unique perspective. A murmur of discussion spread through the chamber. Eventually, High Counselor Vex raised a mechanical appendage for silence. Captain Chen, the High Council will need time to fully consider the implications of this first contact. However, in recognition of your service, we extend provisional alliance status to Earth and its colonies. We would request an official diplomatic mission be established to facilitate further understanding between our peoples. Maya inclined her head respectfully. Earth will be honored to establish such a mission, Counselor. We have much to learn from each other. As the formalities concluded and Maya prepared to return to her ship, Ambassador Zirax approached her privately. A word of caution, Captain. Not all within the Confederation will welcome humans with open arms. Your species represents something many find deeply unsettling, a reminder of the harsh evolutionary paths they might have followed. And others? Maya asked. Zirax's compound eyes seemed to smile. Others will see in humanity the solution to problems we've struggled with for generations. Your kind thinks differently, acts differently. That diversity of approach may be exactly what a stagnating Confederation needs. The ambassador extended a slender blue hand, carefully mimicking the human gesture Maya had taught him. Either way, the galaxy will never be quite the same now that Deathworlders have answered our call. Maya took the offered hand gently, mindful of the ambassador's more fragile physiology. That's one thing you can count on, Ambassador. When humans enter the scene, change follows. Aboard the Thunderchild, as the ship prepared for the journey home, Maya recorded her final log entry about the encounter. First contact has been established with the Galactic Confederation under unusual circumstances. Earth has been classified as a death world, and humans as Deathworlders, species capable of surviving conditions lethal to most intelligent life. Rather than a disadvantage, this designation may prove to be humanity's greatest strength as we take our place among the stars. Earth Command should prepare for increased interstellar contact and the unique challenges and opportunities it will bring. As for the Thunderchild and her crew, we've shown the galaxy what humans are capable of when challenged. I suspect this is only the beginning. As the ship engaged its FTL drive and departed Confederation space, the stars seemed somehow brighter than before, full of new possibilities and horizons to explore. Humanity had announced its presence to the galactic community not with diplomatic niceties, but by doing what humans had always done best, achieving the impossible when it mattered most. The universe would indeed never be the same again.